So, very big celebration. Okay, it's 5:30 on May 5th, 2023, and we're going to call the meeting to order. Mayor Atkins is not with us today, but he's okay, and we'll see him in a couple weeks. So we're sending him healing thoughts and prayers his way. Commissioner Sarahs is going to lead us in a moment of silence.
Is it working? Okay, there we go. So certainly we have the mayor. He's not with us. He's in the hospital, but it doesn't sound like anything serious. So I'm going to propose a moment of silence, not only to think about our mayor, but about the tragedies of gun violence, as we just had another one at a mall in Texas. And I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Sarahs. Next, we have the Pledge of Allegiance, and I've asked Sergeant Wilson to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do you have a key to this city? No?
He has a whole bunch of keys.
Okay. Here's a key to the city. Thank you for doing the pledge. Okay, commissioners, we've had the agenda over the weekend. I've had a few suggested changes. One, the city manager has to leave a little early and would like to be moved to 3.5 between number 3 and 4. And Commissioner Sarahs mentioned hearing the public early. Is that fine with everyone? Okay. So you might have to remind me. We'll move both of those early. Okay, let's proceed. Next, we will hear the public on agenda items only. So if anyone would like to speak 3 minutes or less on an agenda item, come before us and state your name and speak into the microphone. And who is this gentleman here?
Thank you. My name is Tom Poland, and I am coming to you as a citizen, also with greetings from the Danville Boyle Early Childhood Alliance, the Cabinet for Health and Family Services, the Child Care Advisory Council, and the Governor's Office of Early Childhood. And just, I'm here on early childhood, and what a great night to have this proclamation for those that are in the trenches, that are changing and ultimately responsible for the next generation. They're amazing, they're incredible, and they're doing great things. And so I know that Friday, I think, is the big day for that, and just thank you all. And thank you to the city of Danville for your incredible support for everything going on in the world of early childhood, to the city manager, to Josh, to the whole staff, to everybody here. It's a community effort, and make no doubt about it that as in this Commonwealth, we are seen as a bright spot for early childhood. All the great things that are going on. It goes on and on and on. From our recreation department, the leadership they've shown in the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, it's incredible. I mean, the folks gave us in Dolly Parton, they said, well, it'll take you 5 years to get those kids signed up, you know, the 80%, or I think it was like 900 kids. And I think today is the 1-year anniversary of that, and we've already signed it. We've already passed the 5-year mark. So it's just incredible work. But anyway, it goes on, and the Also, our regional collaborative, our Heart of Kentucky Kids, I think you all are familiar with that. Great things going on, and please see the Facebook page that has all kinds of good opportunities there. So I'm sure that's probably 3 minutes. I could go on, but it's just a big thank you. It's just a big celebration. Seems like a big day to be pink and happy about all the great things that our providers are doing. So thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Ms. Poland.
Poland. Exciting times. Anyone else with a comment of an agenda item? Hearing none, we will start with item 1. Item 1 is a promotion of Adam Wilson to sergeant, and Mr. Glenn Doan will be presenting.
Thank you. Glenn Doan, Assistant Chief of Police. It's my honor tonight to introduce Sergeant Adam Wilson. He is our newest sergeant. We want to welcome him to the patrol command staff. Officer Wilson is an 8-year veteran of the agency. He's been a field training officer for us. He's also been a firearms instructor. He's one of our self-defense for women instructors as well. He's been a great asset since the moment he first set foot in the police department. He's actually deserves this promotion, is very deserving of this promotion because we've used him for so long to be in charge and run shifts and supervise without actually holding any rank. So we really took advantage of him and his talents, but now
Can we still do that and not paying?
I mean, we could, but I don't know how much longer he is going to put up with it, because he told me, if you don't promote me, I'm leaving. No, I'm just kidding. No. But embodies exactly what we're looking for here in an officer, and we're so happy that his promotion was already approved. He's already, the only bad thing about his promotion is he went from day shift to third shift. So welcome to supervision. Frontline supervision, sergeant, is the hardest job in police work. And we are blessed with great frontline supervisors here, and we've added another one. So, Officer Wilson. His lovely wife will be actually pinning these on, so please don't stick him in the neck. We don't need him to call in. We can move them over for a good one once they're done. All right, congratulations. Thanks. Did that, he declined. I would be missing out right quick if I didn't. He couldn't be here tonight, but just so everyone is aware, we also made another promotion within our ranks. We promoted Sergeant Chris Wentz to captain over the last several weeks. So once again, another great asset to the upper command staff. We look forward to the ideas and what he is going to bring at the captain's level. So that was another promotion that we did, and we're just excited for the future. Got some good guys and gals that are taking us to where we need to be. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank you, Assistant Chief Doan. Okay, next item on the agenda, number 2, is the 4-year 2021 audit presentation with Mr. DeMoss.
I'll just give a brief introduction really quick, if you don't mind,
Great.
for everybody. Mr. DeMoss, Andy is our, the lead partner on our most recent finalized audit for fiscal year '21, which is year ended June 30th, 2021. He has provided you guys a packet of information, and he's just going to speak about that for just a few moments.
Yeah, thanks, Lee. So we finished this up back in March for your fiscal year '21 audit. The report itself is about 80 pages, so thought this might be a little easier to look at. Flipping through here, if you go to page 2 of the slides, this is your statement of net position, essentially your balance sheet. So you look in here at the 3-year comparison, you had a $4 million increase in your assets. And then the liabilities also increased $4.5 million. So overall, your equity or your net position was about even with the previous year. And the reason that the assets were up, your cash balance was up quite a bit at the end of the year. The liabilities increased primarily due to the net pension liability, which if you'll flip to the next page, you'll see the slide of those. You have 2 pots to the CERS pension liability, the pension portion and then the health insurance portion for the retirees. It doesn't look good here, but the thing that I've noticed in pretty much every city is you'll see next year that's going to start trending back down. So a little bit. But it's going to be it's kind of one of those things that, as you all, the contribution rates are, as you know, very high, but they've also made changes to the plan to hopefully improve that and decrease that liability moving forward. On page 4, this is a summary of governmental revenues. Governmental fund revenues, your general fund, your road fund. So in total, those were over $21 million. Looking at this chart, it's up about $1.2 million from the previous year. The big increase was and we saw this at a lot of places, but your all's occupational license tax, your payroll tax, that was up almost $3 million over budget. So after COVID, that's kind of really recovered, you'll see there. On the next page, again, these are your governmental fund, but this is your expenses here, your expenditures. Those went back up. The big item there was capital outlay went up. Capital outlay in governmental funds is purchase of new assets. The big increases on the capital outlay, the fire station, some of the activity with the parks, those were the big purchases last year. So, does anybody have any questions on the governmental funds before I go over the proprietary funds here? Okay. So page 6 is your proprietary, your business type activities. Utilities is the big one there. Overall, the revenues were pretty flat. In total, there were $11,643,000. Moving on to the next slide, you'll see is your business type funds or your utility, your parking, stormwater. These are the expenses in those funds. Here, those totaled $12.5 million. They went down a little bit this past year, or in 2021, primarily in the utility fund. You'll see that decrease. That was the big decrease of about $1 million. In fiscal year 20, there were some loan costs that got expensed. Personnel costs was down, as well as just kind of across the board, the utility fund was down. In the actual audit that's kind of our summary of the numbers. In the report itself, we give you an unmodified audit opinion. It's the best we can give you, that we believe they're fairly presented in all material respects. So that's what you want to see on that. Obviously, we had quite a bit of adjustments to get to this point. So it took a little longer than what we really wanted to happen. I know us and the city. So hopefully you guys can get back on schedule here moving forward. Do you all have any questions? I know it's kind of the numbers are older, but hopefully that gives you a good idea of kind of the highlights of the year.
And thank you for getting the big copy to us way ahead of time.
Yeah.
It gave us plenty of time to look it over, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Any other questions or comments?
Nope, sounds good.
But yes, I really appreciate this summary too. This is very helpful.
Good.
Any other? City manager? Okay.
Not for me.
Well, thank you very much.
Wait,
You just think the increase in the revenues, or was due to the occupational payroll taxes, right?
That was
After
the big
COVID?
one. That was the big one. When I was looking at it again here, it's been a while since we completed it. And,
Okay.
But yeah, the payroll tax really was way over budget,
Okay,
which is good.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, glad to see a good recovery
Yeah.
post-COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
Any others? Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all.
Thank you very much. Okay, next item on the agenda, number 3, is the KLC Strategic Plan presentation. Ms. Sarah Stoll from KLC. Hello.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here this evening. I'm Sarah Stoll with the Kentucky League of Cities. And as some of you may have seen, my partner in crime, Tad Long, is not here with me this evening. We've had to divide and conquer our work schedules tonight. He's actually at another member city this evening facilitating a meeting there. And so he does send his regrets. However, I brought a colleague with me who's even better than Tad. Don't tell him I said that. But Miss Eleanor Barber here. She is our corporate compliance and inclusion officer, and she's traveling to more member cities. And I'm so glad that she's able to come here and join me tonight. So thanks, Eleanor. I'm here to present the City and Commission Strategic Work Plan. We have sent Earl an electronic copy last week, so that way you all can add that to your website and distribute it how you see fit. And I brought 15 printed copies of the booklet with me this evening that I've passed around to the city commissioners and staff as well, so you have those in hand. So just thank you so much for this opportunity to work with all of you the last few weeks to facilitate the meetings to help you all establish and prioritize your goals for the city and community. And these goals are formatted in a proposed timeline so that you can use the charts as a checklist. And, on behalf of KLC, I just want to thank you all for your time and your hard work, particularly the staff, Earl and Ashley. It has been so great working with you all. We really do appreciate your efforts as well. And we hope that you celebrate your accomplishments as you go along and check them off on your checklist. And this work plan, we think, leads you to the next step of engaging the community and being a launching pad to your Vision 2050 plan. So we look forward to seeing what comes from Danville, and we can't wait to return. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
I love it. This is a nice document. On the first page, though, if you could look at the date,
Okay.
if we could maybe, I think, it says September 15th of 2022. If we can change that, maybe.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
That's the only thing I noticed, but
Yes,
it's a nice
ma'am.
document.
That is a copy and paste error, probably. So my apologies. We will fix that and get you all updated copies. Yes, ma'am.
The only thing I wanted to say was that I appreciated the process. It kind of went from a macro down to a micro view, and it was interesting to go down that road and find out that a lot of things we need to do and ought to be doing really aren't that hard on the budget, and we need to do those soon, now.
Do you find that cities that have a plan like this are able to complete more tasks?
Absolutely, because with how it's designed with the charts, it's kind of like a checklist, so it keeps everyone accountable and on task, and as you finish them, you can check them off and mark them off.
Any other comments? Well, I'm excited to share this with the community. Really, most of the ideas came from what we heard from the community. So this is a community document. I'm excited that the city commission has kind of all combined in unity to focus on these items. So I think a lot will be done. Any other comments?
Thank you all so much for your hard work and
Okay.
for your efforts. We appreciate it.
So if I may,
Yes.
for staff, could we accept this as the finished version then, and so we can conclude this process? Then staff can take this and begin to publicize it as a finished document. Do y'all want to do that, make that motion?
I move that we approve the strategic work plan 2023 to 2026 as presented by the League of Cities.
Second.
So first and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Nicely done.
Thank you. And one more thing, just want to send well wishes to the mayor for a speedy recovery.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Ms. Stoll. Okay, I guess item 3.5 will be the city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We are going to mention the May dates. Of course, we have a budget meeting this Friday. May 15th is Peace Officers Memorial Day. Normally, the police department has a ceremony at the cemetery on that day. It's this coming Monday. I think that's right, yes. Then May 19th, we'll have another budget meeting where we hope to have the full draft review for you to consider, including by then some sort of layout of the Capitol, which we'll review on the 12th. The 22nd is a regular meeting. 26th is the date we're targeting to have the final draft of the budget organized with some comments for you. And so we'll have that hopefully done well in advance of our June deadline. May 29th is Memorial Day. City Hall's closed, a reminder of that. Streetscape project, we all saw some landscape installation going in today. Josh can give you more feedback directly, but we wanted to comment that as we've observed it, we've been up there a couple different mornings early, and we believe that the contractor's doing what they can to maintain the schedule that they've given us as that has moved forward. The audit FY22 services, we've mentioned that before. We do know and are aware that we need to do a Parks and Rec planning workshop. We will go through Ashley to try to schedule that. I know our calendars are full this week, and we already have meetings scheduled next week with you all, so we'll try to figure out. What we will probably do is piggyback that on a regular budget meeting or a regular commission meeting. We will schedule that around that. The third quarter financial report, budget report, is attached. We had hoped to get it out at the last commission meeting, but with the other work going on, we published the PDF maybe a week late. And so this is your through the end of March report. We won't dive into that since it's April, and a lot of the information we've gone over during the budget meetings, year-to-date information, et cetera. So that's in your packet. Do you all have any questions, any comments for me? We had a great ceremony today with Doug and the fire department. Love that. I appreciate those guys. They're Johnny on the spot. The police department is too. And I just think that the community, just as a sidebar comment, just from me as a citizen and taxpayer, you know, I'm super proud of the emergency services we have here. The county, the EMS is where they need to be. You can see it, county fire departments out there. I think this community with the city and the county and the other services around us are really blessed. And I didn't say that in front of now Sergeant Wilson and Assistant Chief Doan and the others, but man, we sure appreciate them.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Coffey. Any other comments?
Nope.
Okay.
Glad to see the trees.
Yeah, glad to see trees.
Okay, moving right along. As requested, we will do a earlier Hear the Public. This one will be items not on tonight's agenda. Would anyone like to speak this evening? And state your, we have plenty of time, and please state your name first, sir.
Name is Richard Reed. Okay. I was here about a year ago. I had about the grass, tall grass, and how I had gotten a lien on a property I was selling and so on and so forth. Apparently I think they've now put another step in between there, which is great. I haven't got any more notices, but I'm here tonight because my business partner and I, we've focused quite a bit in Danville here. We own about a dozen rental properties. When somebody moves out of the property, we improve it, sell it. Like that one house that I got a lien on, it went from a PVA of $75,000 to $212,000. So hopefully this is a win-win relationship. There was a property I really rolled the dice on buying because I was hoping code enforcement would be able to help us on this. I have been coming to code enforcement since, I think it's November, but for sure since December, so it's a solid 5 months. These folks have 6 cars parked out in front of their house. Unfortunately, I got stuck in Cincinnati. I was hoping to bring you a blown up picture of this. I have it on my phone if anybody wants to see it. The hood's sitting straight up on the cars. They have not moved since we bought this property. There's 6 of them. The other thing is that the woman that at the time she was losing the house, and so we ended up buying it so that she can move on with her life. She also told us that she's been chased into her car by their pit bulls 3 different occasions where they were loose. And these folks next door, and this is nothing derogatory against people that rent, because I've got some great renters, but apparently since they don't own the house, I don't think they really care. And I'm saying this also because code enforcement they send it to the landlord with a $100 fine. Supposedly he pays the fine and then life goes on and then everything resets. I'm just wondering if there's something we can do, because we've let this house sit there now, because I'm afraid we're estimating we'll have to put $30,000 to $40,000 into this house. And if it's going to stay that way next door, I'm not going to be able to sell the house to anybody. So everybody else in the streets on Greenview, everybody else in that street takes great care of their house. And it's just the one folks, and again, I only bring up the renter part because I believe it is a situation that can be remedied by either them getting a better quality renter in there or something of the fact. But I think until somebody does, and I think 5 months, when our grass was debatably 12 inches tall, there was swift action on it. I had a lien on that property within a month, and it was, an actual lien.
I'm sorry,
and I
that's
never
3
got
minutes,
noticed.
Mayor Pro Tem.
What's that?
It's 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Okay.
I would have spoke faster into that.
No, that's
Okay, so.
what would be a next step?
I think I have his number in there. We'll follow up with you towards the end of the week at the latest. I'll try to catch the police chief and we'll go through the issue and be in touch with you.
Okay, all righty, just because,
Thank
like I
you for
said,
bringing it up.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're just worried about even sending people out there at this point, to start, so.
Yeah, thank you for bringing it up.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, city manager.
Appreciate it.
Any other folks? Okay, in the back?
Good evening. My name's John K. Wood. Been a citizen here all my life.
Today, I come to you with my retail hat on for 46 years on 3rd Street. And I didn't decide until about 15 seconds ago whether I was going to come up here. But there's something that's going on that deals with ordinances, I believe, that this is y'all's ordinance. Last Friday, I was in the 2nd Street City parking lot, that's going through the lot, and I noticed your code enforcer officer, or whatever his name is, was doing his job. The time was 4:08 on Friday afternoon. He was writing a ticket on a car that probably wasn't supposed to be there. I don't know. It struck me very strange that here at 4:08 p.m. Friday afternoon, someone is getting a ticket when the city, your PR isn't real wonderful right now, do I need to tell you that? But it was, somebody who parked to do something downtown and was going to get a ticket for it at 4:08 on Friday afternoon. Lots of empty places there. They just happened to be there. So I thought, what are the ordinances on your time for your parking lots? And if it's after 4 o'clock, maybe you all might want to rethink that in light of what downtown is going through. I don't have the answer, but I know what happened. You all weren't there, so you wouldn't know what happened. But I have a feeling that when that individual came back to get in their car, they are going to be most unhappy with a 4:08 ticket on a Friday afternoon. And I don't know if an adjustment can be made, but I think in the world of retailing in our downtown, it might be a point of discussion to think about what those times are and to give the parkers who have probably driven through Main Street, waited for lights to change, dodging every person that's in the street and all that they have to do just to come downtown. I'm not too sure that's a wonderful PR move, and I just want to make you aware of it. I'm not complaining because he's doing his job, and I respect it, and I understand it. But maybe there can be some adjustment there that don't make people as mad as they are when they come downtown today. As we as retailers have to hear, and we do hear, their side of it. I'm asking you to listen to our side of it and understand, please. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
Keywood. And I see the city manager taking notes, so that'll be looked at.
We thank you for bringing that up, because you're right, none of us were there. We wouldn't know.
Are there any other folks that want to speak at Here the Public? Going once, going twice? Okay, we'll move along. Item 4, Humane Society presentation with, I see Miss Carey.
Good evening, friends, and thank you to the commissioners for allowing me to speak a little bit tonight to update you on what's happening at the Danville County Humane Society. Specifically, Commissioner Holland, or Mayor Pro Tem tonight, Holland, requested that I share with you about our newest program, which is called Doggy Day Out. As you might imagine, shelter life is very stressful on our animals, and research shows that even a short time outside of kennels will lower dogs' cortisol levels for several hours, maybe even days after they've had a chance to get out of the kennel. So that's why we launched the Doggy Day Out program. Essentially, volunteers take a shelter dog out to do one of 3 activities. We've got something we call a sniffing journey, which is actually just a walk, but it's a cute name. We've also got a field trip. Folks have taken dogs out to get a pup cup, go for a hike, walk in a creek, pretty much anything that's safe and exposes the dogs to the community. And then finally, we have got a slumber party. That would be PAWTY for anyone who's writing it down. And that is exactly what it sounds like. It's a sleepover. We invite folks to take a shelter dog home for a weekend or even just an overnight. Again, it really lowers the stress levels for the dogs in the shelter, which makes them healthier, happier, and clearly more adoptable. So, a quick update on how it's going. We've had an enormous response, very high demand, lots of applications, and it's been successful as well. In fact, one of our dogs, Draco, was supposed to go out last weekend and visit the Earth Day Festival 2 weeks ago. Anyway, his volunteer chaperone came to pick him up, and before they even left shelter grounds, she said, "You know what? Can I adopt him?" I said, "Sure, we'll talk about it later." She's like, no, right now. So Draco didn't get to go on a field trip. He went straight home. And we hope that that happens with future doggy dates as well. It's one of the reasons we want to do it, so. And if I may, now that I've shared that with you, I think residents would like to know about a few of the programs that DBCHS has to help support pet owners and their pets. Just a quick fact, the ASPCA did a study not too long ago and asked folks why they had to give up a pet. More than 80% of the folks said it was a short-term issue, whether it was housing, a lack of pet food, access to veterinary care. So a lot of humane societies, including us, have developed a series of what we call safety nets. And it's just temporary help for folks so they don't have to give up their pet. For example, our community cat program, we will provide free spay and neuter surgery and vaccinations for outdoor cats. That's free roaming cats. I'm sure everybody has them in their neighborhood. Last year, we fixed, vaccinated, and ear-tipped 650 cats in our community, which is huge. It makes a dent in how many kittens are being born this year. So now don't get me wrong, we're not gonna work ourselves out of a job. We'll always have to help take care of outdoor cats. But this is the best way to do it because they're fixed and they don't spread anything. So I encourage you all to sign up for that. On top of it, we have a pet food pantry. And in fact, just in first quarter, you may have heard, we gave away about 20,000 pounds of free cat food to residents and community members. And although we don't have a big cat food drive right now, every single day we do have pet food. We've got cat food, we've got dog food. We also have litter and a few other sundries that people might need. It's free. You just come by the shelter or give us a call and we'd be happy to take care of you. Again, we're trying to keep people and pets together. The more we can do to keep animals out of the shelter, the better it is for everybody. And then finally, the program I'm most excited about is called the Keeping Them Together Fund. It's essentially a way for us to provide financial support to pet owners who may not be able to afford urgent veterinary care. So we've developed this program. Donors have underwritten it, and we've been able to help a few folks so far. The most recent incident was a gentleman who had an 8-year-old shepherd, very sweet dog, and she had, well, I don't know if we have to get into detail, but she had an abscess on her gums, and he couldn't afford to take care of her. He applied for a grant. He absolutely was granted one, and we took care of his dog for him. And you know, again, it's good for everybody, pets, people, and the community. So I think, I mean, I have 27 more pages, but you probably need to keep
How
moving.
does one sign up?
For Doggy Day?
Yeah.
Doggy Day Out?
Any-
Send me an email, karikuh@dbchs.org, or you can call us. Basically, the first thing is get in touch with me, and then I will send you all kinds of information, including a preference form, so you can tell me if you want to take dogs that pull on the leash, or if you just want really sweet little ones. So we kind of want to get your preference so we can match you with the right animal.
Okay.
That's the
I
point.
couldn't let them go, well, we've got a house full now.
Thank you.
Yep, you guys do a lot of great work, and you can pull one of my commissioner comments if you want to do a little thing about how well Doggy Dash went off.
Have you talked about it yet?
Not yet.
I haven't.
Oh, but you're going to?
No, I'm going to let you do it.
Oh. Well, that was awkward. We had our 5th annual Doggy Dash last weekend at Millennium Park, and it was great. We had about 100 people show up. Beautiful morning, and essentially the Doggy Dash is a 5K, 3K fun run, and folks bring their, guess what? Dogs. So we had a great turnout. It was a beautiful day. It's a wonderful fundraiser, but again, it's mostly just to connect with the community. That's what we try to do as often as possible. I can stay.
Thank you for all your
Thank
work.
you.
and
Appreciate it.
Just the great service, so
I appreciate it. Have a great evening, folks.
Thank you so much. Next item, number 5, is a proclamation for National Police Week. And Commissioner Peak is going to read the proclamation.
Whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. And whereas the members of the law enforcement agency of the City of Danville play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the City of Danville and its citizens. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement agency, and that members of our law enforcement agency recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding lives and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas the men and women of the law enforcement agency of the City of Danville unceasingly provide a vital public service. Now therefore be it resolved that Mayor J.H. Atkins and the City Commissioners of the City of Danville do hereby upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 14th through the 20th, 2023, as National Police Officer Week, with appropriate ceremonies and observances in which all of our people may join in commemorating law enforcement officers, past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in doing so have established themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. Furthermore, Mayor J.H. Atkins and the Board of Commissioners of the City of Danville call upon all citizens of Danville to observe May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community or have become disabled in their performance of duty. And let us recognize and pay respect to the survivors of our fallen heroes in a ceremony at Bellevue Cemetery, May 19th at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Thank you, Commissioner Peak. Do we need to do anything, Ms. Rader? A picture or anything?
We'll do a picture and then a motion to accept the proclamation.
Okay.
So I'll move to accept the proclamation of National Police Week.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Motion carries.
All of us?
Thank you all. We encourage everybody to come out. We'll be honoring our 2 fallen officers on May 19th, Officer Crum and Sergeant Ryan. We'll do a brief ceremony at Bellevue Cemetery. I think this year for Police Week, we're all going to take off, so make sure you walk your doors. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, the official plaques will come once the official mayor signs them, Mr. J.H. Atkins. So, okay, next on the agenda is a proclamation for Child Care Provider Appreciation Day. Commissioner Caldwell.
Thank you. Donna, could I borrow your written copy?
Oh, yeah.
Very behind, no. Thank you. Proclamation of Child Care Provider Appreciation Day. Whereas child care providers are a safe, nurturing place for the enrichment and development of millions of children nationwide, and it is a vital force in our economy. And whereas Danville has 10 licensed programs that provide care and early education for 500 children, and whereas child care programs, which are mostly small businesses run and staffed predominantly by women, are still recovering from health and financial hardships stemming from the pandemic, while they have continued to meet the needs of our families. And whereas Danville recognizes that child care has been a lifetime for families, communities, and the economy, and has provided much-needed support to providers to help sustain the viability of child care. And whereas our future depends on the quality of early childhood experiences provided by young children today, and support for high-quality child care represents a worthy commitment to the children's future. Now therefore, Mayor J.H. Atkins and the Board of Commissioners of the City of Danville do hereby proclaim May 12th, 2023 as Child Care Provider Appreciation Day, and urge all citizens to recognize child care providers for their important work and selfless dedication to the young people in our community.
Thank you, Commissioner Cottle. Do I hear a motion to accept the proclamation?
To accept the proclamation.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carries.
Yeah. You didn't ask for comments. Can I make one?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I appreciate Mr. Pullen getting up and talking about there, and I think there's some other representatives here. Mayor Pro Tem, do you want to ask if they have anything to say?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Would anyone like to say anything else? Okay, well, you could say something now, and then we'll also like to include you in the picture. And state your name.
Not made for short people, right? Hi, I'm Susan Smith, and I am the president of Hometown Kids here in Danville. I appreciate the mayor and the commission honoring these people that actually keep the future going. And I'm not speaking to myself because I've moved largely into administrative work, but my staff and the staff of every one of these programs here in Danville work for small wages. The work is physically and emotionally difficult. And if somebody stays in it 6 months, you know that they're doing it because they love it, because there are no other benefits. So, you know, this recognition for our workers here in Danville, it just honors them, and I'm thankful that you are willing to do that. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for providing the service in Danville. We'll take a picture, and thank you also to Tom Pullen that did a great introduction to this special appreciation day.
They do incredible work.
Yes.
You're welcome.
All your work and
Oh,
excitement.
thank you all for everything you all are doing.
Tom, thank you for coming.
wait till everybody's seated. Great idea, Commissioner Sarahs. Next item on the agenda, number 7, is a banner request from the Great American Brass Band Festival. Is anyone here?
No, I
Okay.
just told them I would present it for them. They're just asking to hang their annual banner for the last 3 weeks of May leading up to the festival, the first weekend of June.
I move for approval of the banner for Great American Brass Band Festival.
Second.
Any comments? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. Item 8, approval of the minutes of the previous meetings. Chair entertains a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of 421, 424 special call, 424 regular, and 54 special call meetings as presented.
And I'll second that.
Okay, questions or comments?
Good job, Ashley.
Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. Next item, 9, is resolution for the Bull County Bus Use Agreement. Ms. Rader?
This is the same agreement that we did last year for the Parks and Rec Day Camp. This is to transport kids to get their lunch daily. The fee is $3,847.50, and we're just asking you all to approve the agreement.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
I move for approval of Resolution 2023-050801.
Before a second, I'd like to ask, we still have on the paper, and I don't know, legal's not here, but we still have Mayor Paris. Can we get that changed?
Oh, on the actual agreement from the
Yeah,
school? Yeah, we'll
yeah.
get that changed. They have to
Okay.
approve it too, so I'll make sure that I let Amber know that it needs to be changed.
With that change, I'll second.
Okay, good observation. Any other comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item, let's see. Okay, we skip down now to 11. Oh, wait, commissioner comments. Do the commissioners have some comments this evening?
I just want to say, I mean, I've been down to the farmer's market. It's a nice added addition on Saturday mornings. And also downbeat. Those are nice also.
I echo your comments. You know, it was good to see how many people showed up for downtown downbeat. And Saturday, farmer's market was absolutely packed. And that was after I left Millennium Park for Doggy Dash and a baseball tournament. Packed that park. So it was a good feeling to be in Danville that day.
Any others? I've heard from some citizens about really liking the new smoother sidewalks in town. So thank you, Mr. Morgan, especially those with strollers and bikes. So thank you. And also thank you for the new attractive signs that are directional. Okay. We will go to the next item, number 11. Chair will entertain a motion to approve payment of the bills in the amount of, let me skip, $2,482. Oh, wait, $2,482,947.65.
I move for approval of the bills as presented in that amount.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, I just have a question, just so you know, I've been reading it. Let's see, it's Duke's A&W Enterprise strobe lights. Can you, are they going to the Whisker Park or? I'm gonna be that guy.
We'll look into it. I'm not sure what that is, but it's not related to a capital project. It's something that Public Works purchased, so I'll find out what that's related
Okay.
to. It might be, now that I'm thinking about it, this, This is a guess, but we discussed last week trying to add some lights to our barricades. One of the things we ran into during the windstorm a month ago when all the electricity was out downtown is we were putting our barricades out to block traffic and nobody could see them because there was no lights anywhere. So that's something we discussed last week, so maybe that's what that is. So I'll look into it and get an answer back for you all.
If that's the case, I'm glad I brought it up because that's a safety feature. Right, Chief Tone?
Yeah, we were talking about the upcoming. Yeah, we were talking about the upcoming fair and trying to prepare for that. And so we're gonna try to get our barricades ready for the fair, because that's after dark as well, usually when we're hit hardest.
Any other comments? I was pleased to see the Veterans Memorial allocation already getting a check. So I'm sure Mr. Hendricks and the veterans will be very pleased, so thank you. Okay, did we vote?
No.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. Item 12, occupational license update. Ms. Compton?
Yes, so I just wanted to present to you, just an update, because I thought it had been a minute since I had given you, I was trying to pull my sheet up, I'm sorry, I was not prepared. An update, I think the last one was February. So I just kind of want to line out how many business licenses we had issued since the beginning of this calendar year. In total, it's 161. There's been quite a bit of uptick in the last couple months. Part of that actually is primarily due to the farmers market. They've been really encouraging those folks to come in and get their business license. Sometimes vendors, like people that go to farmers markets, are just unaware that they are required to obtain the license. So we've been working very closely with them. In April, we issued 53, which is a good amount. And then just items of note, our online payment options are coming soon. I don't have the go live date on the online payment portion just yet, but very soon you'll be able to request your business license and pay for it all online. So we're excited for that.
Glad to see that.
Yeah. For me, money aside, that's a big number, so it's good to see that people want to operate in our little village,
Absolutely.
little city.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Compton. You're next. We got Audit Services RFP Award.
Yes, so we just had the presentation of the fiscal '21 audit. We have issued a RFP for audit services for some upcoming fiscal years. We had originally issued the RFP for fiscal year '22, '23, '24. Upon discussion with myself and the city manager and discussion with our proposed selective vendor, we are going to modify this agenda item, the resolution, assuming if you pass it or not, to remove fiscal year '24. So ideally, we would like to get caught up in the normal course of business. We would prefer that our audits be done within a much shorter time frame after the end of our fiscal year. There was a lot of mitigating circumstances with COVID and my position being open for a period of time that just pushed us back longer than we would like. So we are proposing that you accept the lower bid proposal that came in from RFH, the same audit servicer who provided the fiscal '21 audit and the last few audits. And then for fiscal year '24 and ongoing, which we anticipate, we would bid those out sometime around February of next calendar year. But we had 2 respondents. This is another service that we're just not getting many responses out of. I have personally contacted about 10 CPA firms that do governmental work. 2 responded, 1 a personal contact let me know they couldn't take on additional work. So I think you're seeing a lot of the lack of availability from a lot of providers. The lower item would be around, if we accept fiscal year '22 and fiscal year '23 as proposed, in total would be about $120,000 for the lower proposal versus $203,000 for the higher proposal. I included the proposals in the packet, but do you all have any questions specifically about either proposal?
Any questions? Okay. I'll entertain a motion for Resolution 2023-05-0802 with just for year '22 and for year '23 only.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
We have a first. Is there a second?
Again, I'd like to make a comment. What states here is it's in the resolution is 3 years. Do we need to make a change?
Yeah, I think, Stephen, it was a very last minute kind
Okay.
of conversation that we had to adjust that. So we will have to update the, I'm not sure exactly if Stephen will have to update the resolution or if what will accomplish, they'll bring back an engagement letter that specifies which fiscal years they will be auditing. In my discussion with the audit partner, Andy DeMoss, he was, they were aware that we were requesting this change and making the change. So I think that's I don't have a good answer. Stephen may need to tweak this.
It almost seems as though we should wait for the corrected resolution.
Couldn't we
Okay.
just amend it as it's?
I think,
Or amend it.
I think that was well, with my discussion with Earl, that we could, as long as you all within your confirmation specified that it was as amended, that was okay, but I won't promise that I'm not wrong.
Okay.
I'm okay. Can we state the amended fee again, please?
The amended fee in total would be $63,600 for each fiscal year, so $127,200.
Is that fair with you, fellow commissioners?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, I will second Kevin's motion with the amendment.
Any other questions or comments?
And they will bring back a contract for us to look at, right?
Yes, they
With
will
the
bring
dates.
back an engagement letter, which is their contract,
Okay.
that'll specify what specific fiscal years, and it should specify the fees within it as well.
And dates of completion.
Dates of completion, so within, what we did differently within this proposal versus the last, at least the last couple of years, I can't speak prior to that, is we have included some deadlines of completion for the audit. So our deadline for fiscal '22 is August with, so that is them completing their work with a report to be followed the following month. And then fiscal '23 to be completed by December with the report to follow by January of 2024. So you would have both caught up by January of 2024.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's really, so 6 months after the end of your fiscal year is the goal for most to be finalized and have your report for most typical audits. But like I had said, we have been behind.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 14, HDR Contract Amendment 6. Mr. Carrier.
Thank you, Commissioner. This is in relation to an amendment to HDR's current contract with the city of Danville relative to the Lebanon Road, Clark's Run sewer projects, phases 1 and 2. This essentially is a fee increase of $90,200 from the capital budget relative to needed fee increases for construction services and just general scope of work, which includes engineering redesign. Part of the Phase 2 project is we're actually redesigning almost 3,000 linear feet of gravity sewer to increase capacity for the project. So there's certainly design fees involved in doing that, as well as some coordination with Kentucky Division of Water and relative construction admin services.
I have a question. So you listed 92.2, and then the next page says 72?
Yeah, I noticed on the resolution, that'll need to be corrected. The total is 92.2. It's showing at 70,200, so that'll need to be corrected
I'll
before we
get
sign
the
it.
city attorney to fix that.
Yeah.
Your math looks right at 70,200.
Says on the contract, it says
Oh, yeah,
70,000
it does say 70,200 on the contract.
at the bottom, total.
Why don't
Yeah.
you do the other one if you build a
Well, there's
trail
a
over the top?
12,000 at the top also.
Yeah.
There's a Phase 1 for 12,000 and a Phase 2 for the 70,200.
We'll correct the resolution.
Yeah. We'll get the attorney to correct that before we.
Okay, so should we just leave that today? Skip it over until it's corrected? Or can we adopt amended? Okay. So do I hear a motion for Resolution 2023-050803, which will be amended to $92,200, correct?
$90,200, correct.
Oh, it's just 90. Okay, so even the first page is wrong. Because
No,
the first page says
It's
90.
92,200.
92.2, sorry.
Okay, so amended to $92,200.
I apologize.
Okay.
Can I pick another number? I'm going to say 97.
Okay.
I move that we approve the resolution with the stated amendments.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Peak. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next resolution is number 15, CDGB grant application. And that, Mr. Carrier, you can explain what that is.
Thank you. This is for, the committee at Villas at Ridgeville Farm has approached the city of Danville. So they have an existing privately owned and operated sanitary sewer pumping station that's reaching the end of its useful life. Typically, you get about 15 to 20 years out of that. They've requested that the city of Danville aid them in pursuit of a CDBG grant, Community Development Block Grant, to help them pay for the cost and install of a replacement gravity sewer system to tie into the city of Danville. So what does that mean for the city of Danville? That just essentially means that the grant itself is going to be administered by the Bluegrass Ad, but we will be providing, letters of support, support information to help them through that process, provide them whatever information they need, and then approval to Division of Water once they get their plans designed and approved, so.
Any questions?
But it's no cost to the city.
No, I mean, it's essentially no cost to the city. It's any administrative fees I would just take care of, so it's no problem.
I appreciate you working with this development. I think most of us have been out there time and time again, and this has been a big concern for those citizens that are, on a fixed income. And thank you for doing that.
Yeah, we'll be glad to work with them.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-050804.
Second.
Questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Now we're rolling, aren't we? Okay, item 16, invoice cloud. Mr. Carrier?
Thank you. This is in regards to a previous resolution that we had in March of this year. If you remember, we requested the go-ahead to move forward with VIP and software solutions for some additional customer web support, pay by text, bill reminders, and that type of additional information based on the new billing software that we have coming online later this month. In doing so, we wanted to clarify one important topic. When we did the original resolution, that was the contract was drafted to go towards software solution and VIP. Actually, there's a sub-consultant that works for them that it's actually going to be contracted to. The new contract information is going to be with a company called Invoice Cloud, who's actually still within the same contract. We just want to clarify the name of the vendor to do the work.
Any questions?
I'll move to accept resolution number 2023-05-0805.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions, comments?
No, again, no cost.
Exactly. And did you say this will be implemented at the end of this month?
Yeah, right now, we're scheduled to go live with our billing software on the 24th of this month.
Great. And you
So, as far as the actual details of getting this particular vendor up and running, it may lag behind by about a month or so, but we just want to get their billing software up and running adequately first to make sure we don't have any hiccups with that, and then we'll drill down into what offers we have here with Invoice Cloud. So.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Next item. We
Better
voted
vote.
on that, did we? No. Okay. We had a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 17, Subbasin F Design. Mr. Morgan.
Yes, thank you all. You have a scope and fee in your packet from Bell Engineering for the survey and assessment of Subbasin F through our stormwater program in the amount of $79,800. Describe Subbasin F. The hilltop that surrounds it, when you think about drainage areas, would be Maple Avenue, Lexington Avenue, and the back of Green Acres. So everything heading north from there. The bottom end of it would be the culvert under Spring Hill that then goes into Spears Creek. That's kind of the bottom end of that drainage area. So it's a big drainage area. It's an old drainage area for us, which contributes a lot to the cost here. If you look in the breakdown, 35,000 of that 79,800 is field data collection. So that's driven mostly by a new requirement with our stormwater permitting that we map our entire stormwater system, every pipe, every inlet, this is kind of the first kickoff of. We've talked a lot about the engineering training, maybe adding that to the staff this year. That's something that they're gonna help me out a lot with as we try to implement that throughout the city. So as you can see, it's a big cost, but the almost half of it is just field data survey. So there'll be public engagement involved in this. There'll be identification of capital projects throughout the area to make things better for folks. And that's really the goal at the end of this project would be to how do we make the lives of our citizens better from a stormwater standpoint. So that's going to be the project.
So this will help that overflow there at Streamland that goes over the road?
That is top of the list projects. We're going to spend a lot of time on field data collection, a lot of time on public engagement, but in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and start working on that culvert, getting the design figured out, what we need to do there to relieve the flooding. If we can reduce it down to, once every 2 or 3 years instead of 3 or 4 times a year, that would be great.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, do I hear a motion for Resolution 2023-05-08-06?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Glad we're getting something done over there.
So this is just the design, and then they'll bring it back to us, or they'll actually start working on it?
So
The
this-
money on this is just design, right?
This is just kind of, conceptual planning,
Right,
really.
okay.
They'll come back to us later. Once we identify capital projects, we'll come back with another fee to do the design of that project and then move forward with the construction.
I just
So,
wanted to put that out there so
Yes.
people know.
Okay. Did we have a motion and a second? Okay.
Motion, second.
So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Motion carries. Old Central Fire Station demo, change order 1. Mr. Morgan?
Yes, you have in your packet a proposal from Aesthetic Industrial Contracting for the abatement of the asbestos in the old Central Fire Station. We did not include this in the initial bid just from we wanted to get a contractor on site and assess what needed to be abated before we move forward with a price instead of including it in the bid. We had some confusion with different bidders, and so we pulled that out, and then they came down a couple weeks ago and looked at the building with me, and they brought this price forward. It's very reasonable. It's $8,500. There's quite a bit. There's 1,445 square feet of floor tile and mastic, black mastic that they'll need to remove for the abatement. So they're going to go ahead and move forward with that once we approve this. Just overall, the goal, we were going to try to get the building down before brass band. That's probably not going to happen at this point. They need 2 weeks. And it depends on how long it takes them to get this abatement completed, but if they can get it done in time, we might start this month. But if not, we'll wait till after brass band and starts the demolition process.
No, I think you answered my question. The playing field was level, so anybody else that bid on this project also did not bid on removing this.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a parking lot for a while?
Yeah, and once the result of the demolition will just be a gravel parking lot until, we make further decisions. So we'll be able to have that as kind of some overflow parking for downtown.
Great, okay. Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Do I hear a motion?
I move we approve Resolution 2023-050807.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. 2 more items. Item 19, Jenny Rogers, Phase 1, change order number 1. Mr. Morgan.
Yes, this is a small change order for the Phase 1 Jenny Rogers project. I just wanted to go ahead and get it taken care of. They were going to turn off the water to the whole building to start working on the eastern wing, and we thought that would be an issue with us still utilizing the cafeteria and gym area. So we asked them to install a valve in the system that they could shut off the water to one wing and not shut off water to the whole building. So the total price for that change order was $1,593.51.
Great. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-050808.
Second.
Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. Last item, tennis complex change order number 1. Mr. Morgan.
Yes, you have in your packet a change order breakdown from our consultants. It's a little bit confusing because this is change order number 1 for us. They have them listed as change orders number 3 and 5. We talk about a lot of change orders in the background, and I only bring the ones to you all that we actually want to process. So, but there's 2 items here. There's the total change amount on this change order is $17,640. It includes $7,200 for the construction of a retaining wall. This was something that once we saw it built, we knew we needed to change. It was going to be a maintenance issue for us in the future. So I think when you all get out there and take a look at it and you look at the retaining wall, you'll see why we put it there. It was a very steep slope right off of a sidewalk leading down to the court. And then the other item was $10,440 to add fencing along the lower courts. This is another one of those items that was, I think the consultant was trying to limit the amount of fencing that was involved in the project. And once we saw it in reality, when it was put in, we knew there was an issue there. And I made sure I spoke to the tennis coach at the school just to see, hey, is this something that we need to install this fence here? It was to close in the lower courts, and he agreed that it was definitely a need for us. So we asked him to go ahead and move forward with the installation of that fence. So like I said, the total change for the project would be $17,640.
I was glad to see that because balls just fly, and you got to have a fence, and then you know what areas goes to what court, so.
My bigger concern was people driving onto the courts. I thought we needed to do we needed to do something to keep people from driving onto the tennis courts.
Any other questions? Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll move to accept Resolution 2023-050809.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments?
I was a little surprised that the retaining wall wasn't in the original plan. I mean, you
Yeah.
kind of tell you were going to need something there. but-
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things, they were trying to, they proposed a 2-to-1 slope. I mean, I can get really into like the weeds of,
Yeah,
slopes
no.
and.
You'll lose me.
You know, I think it would have worked from a engineering standpoint, but from a maintenance standpoint, like it was just gonna be, it was gonna be difficult. It was also gonna be difficult to keep dirt off of the courts until
Yeah.
we had grass established. That was one big thing that I don't think that they really considered. Lesson learned from me, and I'll never build another tennis court again, you know, it's that kind of thing. So, it was, you know, it was, once they put the light pole in, which the light pole was really the driver, you know, once the light pole got in and we saw where it was gonna sit and saw where the sidewalk needed to go to match, you know, you had to have an ADA 5% slope all the way down that hill. So there was a lot that went into that, but it was just one of those things, once you saw it in reality, we had to do a retaining wall. Hopefully our consultant learned that, and they can, next time, wherever they move on to next from here, they can do it better.
And that's what I was noticing on the change order number 5. I was surprised it was taken, the fencing was taken out, it says, as a cost savings, and now we're putting it back in.
Yeah, I think, you know, they were trying to pull back costs as much as they can when leading up to the bid, because we were trying to, you know, with the $2.8 million estimate that we were looking at, we were trying to reduce cost. There was a few different locations they removed fence at, but this is just one of those. And like I said, I think sometimes there's things you see once they're built that it just changes your mind about what you're trying to do. And that was one of those. I liked the idea of reducing fence just because it opened things up for visually, for people watching, for people being around, just access. But that was one we definitely needed to add back in. And I kind of look at change orders like this little, you know, I think, yes, we're probably paying a little bit of a premium because they didn't include it in their bid. But at the end of the day, you're still paying for a product that you're getting. So we're still getting a fence there. We would have paid for that one way or the other, even if we'd included the initial bid.
And this may be something for Earl, but you did mention saying you talked to the school. Are they using it? I thought they were gonna bring an agreement back to the city for use agreement before they started.
We need to get that use agreement figured out. They would like to host the regional tournament there next week. We're penciling in. We need to figure out some details there. And some of that too is they're not charging gates, so they're not gonna make anything off of that event next week. They don't charge gate for a regional tennis tournament, which is something
Is it
I learned.
open for both schools to use?
Yes, I would assume so. I mean, we could open it to anybody. It'll be the regional tournament, so they'll all be there as part of the tournament. So it's, you know, I think we're tentatively penciled in for that because they're not done. The surface is going down right now on the courts. So we're penciled in. We're tentatively planning some kind of ribbon cutting next Monday. So I was going to say that after we got done talking about it, that we're still working those details out. This has been very, very, very last minute, but something if we can make it happen as a group. I mean, it's Boyle County's turn to host a tournament. Otherwise, they're passing. I think they're going to try to use Center College either way. Center College is letting them use their courts for the tournament. So we're trying to work with them, figure out the details, and we'll bring back more later to you all and just announce to the public the situation.
Okay. Thank you. Did we have a motion?
I think we do.
Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Actually, yes, you do.
Oh, we did? Okay. So we have a first and a second, and we had discussion. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. We do not have a legal team here, so I assume that we do not have an executive session.
You do not.
Okay.
I move we adjourn.
Therefore, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Second.
Those in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Yeah.
Opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.